Soldiers of the realm, the time has come to march. Forward, into destiny, for honor and glory.
The alien court laughed at him until his true power was finally revealed.
Indeed.
Captain Marcus Webb stepped into the grand tribunal chamber and felt very small. The room was enormous, built from crystal that sparkled like diamonds. It floated in space, orbiting a dying star. Through the transparent walls, Marcus could see other spaceships waiting outside. Ships from 100 different alien worlds. Marcus was alone. No lawyer, no friends, no other humans. Just him, standing on a circular platform in the center of the room. Around him, seated in floating chairs that hung in the air like magic, were the judges of the Galactic Concordat. They were not human. They were not even close to human. The head judge was named Zexstar.
Finally spoke.
He looked like a giant crystal statue that somehow lived and breathed. Light passed through his body and made rainbow patterns on the walls. When he spoke, his voice sounded like wind chimes mixed with thunder. The human will approach, Zexstar announced. Marcus walked forward. His boots made soft sounds on the crystal floor. Every step echoed in the massive chamber. He could feel hundreds of alien eyes watching him. Some eyes were normal. Some were compound, like insects. Some aliens had no eyes at all, but seemed to sense him anyway. On his left sat the Kresh delegates. They looked like giant praying mantises, with sharp faces and clicking mandibles. They whispered to each other, and the sound was like laughter. On his right floated the Velnari, beings made of colored gas held together by force fields. Their translators turned their movements into words. The words were not kind. So small, one Velnari said. So primitive, another added. Does it even understand us? A Kresh judge clicked. Marcus understood them perfectly. His translator earpiece worked fine. He just chose not to respond yet. He had learned long ago that sometimes silence was the best answer. Behind the judges, Marcus could see the gallery. Hundreds of aliens had come to watch this trial. Representatives from every corner of the galaxy. Some took notes on floating screens. Others simply stared. A few were clearly amused. This was entertainment for them. The trial of the silly human who thought his species mattered. Zexstar raised one crystalline hand.
We are not so different.
The room fell silent immediately. Captain Marcus Webb, of the species known as humanity, the head judge began. You stand accused of violating Concordat law. Your species has colonized 12 worlds without permission. These worlds were marked as restricted territory.
If
you were
someone
warned.
tries to take that
You ignored
away
our
from us,
warnings.
They wouldn't dare.
How do you plead? Marcus took a deep breath. This was the moment that would decide everything, not just for him, but for every human living on those 12 colony worlds. For his daughter on New Anchorage, for his brother's family on Kepler, 186 FT. For 1.2 million humans who had left Earth to build new homes among the stars. Not guilty, Marcus said clearly. The room erupted in noise. Aliens shouted in 100 different languages. The translators struggled to keep up. Marcus heard words like arrogance and foolish and typical primitive behavior. Zexstar slammed his hand down. A wave of energy rippled through the room, silencing everyone instantly. You dare? The head judge said. His voice was cold now, like ice cracking. The evidence is clear. Human settlements exist on restricted worlds. This is not debatable. This is fact. I don't debate the facts, Marcus replied. I debate the law. A Kresh judge leaned forward, mandibles clicking rapidly. Law that has kept peace in the galaxy for 50,000 years. I challenge the interpretation, Marcus said. Those worlds were marked restricted, yes. But restricted for what reason? Your records say they are uninhabitable. Death worlds, too dangerous for civilized species. Exactly, Zexstar said. Which makes your colonization even more illegal.
Together we
You put your people in danger on worlds clearly marked as hazardous. Marcus smiled for the first time since entering the chamber. But we're not in danger. We're thriving. Those worlds aren't uninhabitable. They're just difficult. And difficult is something humans understand very well. A slug-like creature approached Marcus. This was Morthen, his assigned defender. The creature moved slowly, leaving a trail of slime on the crystal floor. Captain Webb, Morthen said sadly, please listen to reason. I have reviewed your case. There is no defense. The Concordat has decided your colonies must be evacuated. Your people will be relocated to approved refugee zones. If you plead guilty now, the punishment will be less severe. Perhaps they will let your species keep 1 or 2 worlds. Small ones. Closely monitored. No, Marcus said simply. Morthen's eye stalks drooped. Then you doom your people to harsh judgment. Perhaps, Marcus agreed. Or perhaps I save them.
Unconventional? How far?
Zexstar seemed amused by this. You have something to say, human?
I know.
Some evidence that will change this court's mind? Please, enlighten us. We are curious what primitive logic you will attempt. Marcus looked around the chamber. He saw the floating chairs, the crystal walls, the advanced technology that surrounded him. He saw aliens who could read minds, who could manipulate energy with thought, who lived for thousands of years. He saw power and knowledge that humanity could barely imagine. Then he thought of home,
evacuate within 6 months.
of Earth,
Understood.
of a small
Now,
blue
with our
planet
forces, we
where
can-
humans
We
learned to
stand together.
survive ice ages and plagues and
calls our
wars
final
and
judgment.
disasters,
Judgment for both
where his
our peoples.
ancestors had
Indeed,
crawled
we
out of
lead on
caves
together.
and built cities,
Have you
where
anything to
people
say
looked at the
before we make it
impossible
official?
and said, watch
What
me,
choice do
I
I have?
request judgment
None.
under the old law. Marcus said
upon our
loudly.
city. This
The
is the
chamber went
legacy of our
completely
civilization.
silent. Even the
incredible.
ambient
How did you
hum
build
of the
all this?
station's systems
Who are
seemed to
you?
fade.
How did you breach
What did
our
you say?
defenses?
I am a
Zexstar
survivor.
asked
Your forces
slowly.
left me no choice.
The old
Tell me of your
law,
last colony.
Marcus repeated.
years ago.
Trial
You
by
failed.
testimony
Then you will
of
not fail
capability. It's in your legal codes.
human.
Ancient,
Your
but still
presence honors
valid.
us.
I've done my
Thank you, Your
research.
Majesty.
The Kresh
I bring
judges
greetings from
clicked
Earth.
frantically to each other.
This passage
The
is
Velnari
intriguing.
swirled in
It is.
agitated
What do you think?
patterns.
Its depth is
Zexstar's crystal body flashed with
Your
colors
recovery is
Marcus's
vital to our
eyes
pact.
couldn't quite
Feel my
process.
strength return.
That law,
Good, we proceed
the head
soon.
judge said
My
carefully,
civilization has
has
endured for
not been
millennia
invoked
watching
in
the stars.
10,000
Now you're revealing it
cycles.
to me.
You
But
are
it
part
can
of
be
our
invoked,
destiny.
Marcus
I find this
pressed.
proceeding most
Yes or no?
irregular.
A
Your
long
judgment
pause.
is noted, but irrelevant.
Then Zexstar nodded slowly.
Our kind
Yes.
has no need for expansion.
It can be
But
invoked.
your
Then
presence threatens
I
our
invoke
worlds.
it,
That is your
Marcus
misconception.
declared.
To our
Give
new
me 3
understanding,
days.
And to
Let me
peace
show
between
you
our
what
worlds.
humanity is
our
capable
alliance will
of.
bridge the divide.
Then judge
My
us.
point is, you must
The aliens
recover.
looked at each other.
I understand.
Some seemed angry.
rest.
Some seemed confused. A few seemed almost interested. Finally, Zexstar spoke. Very well, human.
Behold the galaxy.
You will have your 3 days.
Incredible.
Our path is
But
written
know
here.
this,
Then we find
when
it.
you fail, and you will fail, the judgment will be twice as harsh. Marcus stood straight and
This
tall.
passage
I
reveals the
understand.
ancient protocols.
Then this session is
It aligns
adjourned,
with our historical
Zexstar
record.
announced.
Precisely.
We
We
reconvene
proceed.
in 72 standard hours. Do not disappoint us,
Aboard
Captain
my
Webb.
vessel.
Or
You are
rather,
safe.
do not disappoint
Why
us
help
more
me?
than you already have.
character controls
The judges rose from their floating
3,214
chairs and
inhabited
began to
worlds.
leave. The
3,000
gallery
worlds?
emptied slowly, aliens
just in
discussing
time. The
this
council
strange
awaits.
turn of events.
We came as soon as
Marcus
we could.
remained standing on the
Good. Follow
platform,
me.
alone
We
once
must
more.
safeguard this alliance.
He had 3
I agree,
days
this is
to
still
save
short.
humanity's
Indeed,
future.
maintain what we
3 days to prove that being human meant
colonies will
something.
not fall.
3 days to show
We
them
make our
all
stand
what they
here.
were about to learn the
Together.
hard way. The galaxy had laughed at
Character
humanity
worlds
long
we set.
enough. Now
Indeed,
it was time
a
to
shared
stop
understanding.
laughing. The next morning, Marcus
we were
returned to
restricted.
the Grand
Why?
Tribunal chamber.
Your kind was marked
The room
restricted
was
over
even more
1,000 years
crowded
ago.
than before.
1,000 years?
Word had spread
ages,
across
my
the
kind
station
remained
about the
alone in the
human who
stars.
dared
You
to
were the
invoke
first.
the
You
old
were.
law.
No, we are
Aliens from
not.
dozens of species had come to watch. Some were curious. Most expected entertainment. They wanted to see the primitive human fail. Marcus walked to the center platform again. He carried a small data device in his hand. It looked simple compared to the advanced technology floating around him, but it contained everything he
You are
needed.
safe now.
Zexstar took his seat at the head of the
What
court.
happened to me?
The crystal being studied Marcus with what might have been amusement. Captain Webb, you have
We have
requested
learned
this trial.
restraints.
The
Prove
burden
it.
of proof is yours.
The
You must
festivities are
convince this
agreeable.
court that humanity
Agreed.
deserves to
It's
keep
good to
the
be here.
restricted worlds you have illegally occupied.
rush into anything
I
you
understand,
Rushing
Marcus
is for
said.
prey.
Then
We are the
begin.
hunters.
Zexstar commanded. Show us this great capability you claim your species possesses. Marcus activated his data device. A
The recovery
holographic
is
projection
slow,
appeared
human.
in the center of the chamber.
stronger.
It showed a planet
We shall
spinning
see.
slowly in space. The planet
so
looked
focused on
angry.
preserving
Its
what you have that
atmosphere
you've
was
forgotten
thick
how to
with
create
red and
anything
orange
new.
clouds. Lightning storms
You
raged
insulted
across
them
the
all.
surface. The readings
spoke the
displayed
truth.
next to the
Your
image
truth
made
is a
several
threat.
aliens gasp. This
I'm
is
not trying to
Kepler.
insult anyone.
442b,
We're in this together.
Marcus began. You call it
trying to help you see
sanctuary.
something you've
7
missed.
in your
What is
records. The Concordant
Pattern
marked
here.
it as uninhabitable 1500 years ago. A Kresh judge clicked forward. Yes, we sent an expedition there.
When did
They
you
lasted
last
3
create
days
something
before
truly new?
evacuating.
In my
The gravity
civilization, creation
is
the essence of our
crushing.
being.
The atmosphere is poison.
display reveals
The
our
temperature
past.
shifts would kill most
see.
known
The anomalies
species.
are clear.
It is a
proceed.
death world.
This device holds
Exactly,
music from a
Marcus
world
agreed.
beyond yours.
A
Incredible.
death
It seems
world.
evolved.
And here
Perfect
are sacred
description.
texts.
He changed the image.
To our friendship.
Now it showed the same
And to
planet,
cultural
but
exchange.
different. Cities appeared on the surface. Domes covered valleys. Lights twinkled in the darkness. The display showed population numbers.
Welcome,
1.2
human.
million.
I am the
We
queen.
call it New
Thank you, Your
Anchorage,
Majesty.
Marcus said.
You are weary, rest.
It's home now.
From
The
ancient
chamber
stars
erupted
we
in
sing.
confused chatter.
Our
A
worlds entwined
Velnari
shall
representative
be.
floated
That's my queen.
forward, their gaseous
In the twilight
forms
of our
swirling
worlds,
with
ancient
agitation.
stories tell of
Impossible.
unity.
Your
Here
data
we forge
must
that
be
legend
false.
anew.
No species can survive on Sanctuary 17. We lost scientists there, trained explorers with the best equipment.
You will recover.
You
I
lost them
demand
because
it.
they tried to
I'm
make the
trying, but I'm
planet
so
fit their
weak.
needs,
Then fight.
Marcus explained. He showed
culture
new
is
images.
refined, as you can
Humans
see.
in thick
It's incredible,
exoskeleton
true marvel.
suits walking
We
through
value harmony
valleys.
and progress.
Children playing in domed parks, their suits helping them move in the heavy gravity. Farmers growing crops in filtered air
Here
chambers.
again, the images of your
We
colonies.
didn't try to
See
make
their
the planet
fragility.
like our
They are
home
resilient.
worlds,
We adapt.
Marcus continued.
ascend.
We adapted
This
ourselves
festival
to
is
fit the
incredible,
planet.
so vibrant.
It
It
wasn't
is a
easy.
celebration of unity.
The first year,
see.
we lost people. Good people.
Our creation
But
sings.
humans don't quit just
Let its
because
light
something
pierce
is
their
hard.
together.
He
The
showed them
harmony will
footage
shatter
of the
their
early colony
These
days.
texts reveal
Humans
much about
struggling
your
in the
people's
gravity,
past.
learning
Your
to
world has
move,
adapted
learning
so
to build.
elegantly.
He showed them the
We
failures
have
and
been
the
in space
successes.
for less than a
The
century.
memorial wall with names of
incredible.
those who died building the colony.
We are
The
already
celebration
creating
when the
new
first
things.
child was
kind
born
of
there
things?
and
A future where we
survived.
evolve
A
together.
elderly Kresh judge,
You
her
stand in my
mandibles
presence,
worn
state your
smooth
purpose.
with
I
I come
age,
in peace.
spoke
My world is in
quietly.
peril.
Peril,
But
prove
why?
your worth.
Why
We are not
suffer
better
so
than you
much?
because of what
There
we
are
are, but
easier
because
worlds,
of what we have overcome.
pleasant
We're still
worlds.
struggling.
Marcus
To
smiled
our
sadly.
alliance, forged in
Because the
understanding.
pleasant worlds
new
belong
beginnings
to
and
you,
shared knowledge.
the Concordat
Valuable
controls
lesson.
thousands of comfortable planets.
I feel so
Humans
hungry.
had one
Rest,
world,
I
just
will
Earth.
provide.
And Earth is getting crowded. We needed
Welcome,
room
human.
to
Your
grow.
arrival was anticipated.
So
We
we
are
took
honored,
the
Your
worlds
Majesty.
nobody
Queen's
else
presence
wanted.
is formidable.
You took
Captain,
what
are
we
you saying what I
specifically
think?
marked as
Yes, my
forbidden.
queen. The
Zexthar
alliance
corrected
holds.
coldly. You marked them
saying
as
the characters become
uninhabitable,
comfortable.
Marcus countered.
Comfort breeds weakness.
And you were
we will
right
remind them of fear.
for your species, but not for
We've had
ours.
peace for
He
50,000
changed the
years.
display
And
again.
what did that piece
This
cost
time,
you?
it showed
Everything.
Earth. The blue and green
I feel
planet
much
looked
better.
beautiful from
That is
space.
wonderful.
Then
Thank you for
Marcus
watching
zoomed
over me.
in.
Of course.
He showed deserts where temperatures reached
civilization
deadly
thrives
highs,
because without
Arctic
it we
regions
stagnate.
frozen solid,
Stagnation.
That and no
deep
progress.
oceans with crushing
You're not
pressure,
moving forward
mountain
anymore.
peaks with air too
see
thin to
about that.
breathe. This is our home world, Marcus said.
You arrive
Earth.
weakened,
It looks
human.
nice from
State your
space,
purpose.
doesn't it?
I come in peace.
But look
to end
closer.
the wars.
Humans evolved in this
You damaged
chaos.
your
We
own
don't
planet.
have one
We
perfect
had no
environment.
choice.
There
We
is
have
always a
dozens
choice.
of deadly environments, all
I
on
stand
one
with you.
planet.
Your
He
resolve
showed
honors this
images of
alliance.
humans
To the
living in
end.
all of Earth's harsh places.
We're not better.
People in the
just
Sahara
different.
Desert.
And yet,
Scientists in
here we are.
Antarctica.
Reading together.
Submarine crews in the
messier.
deep ocean.
But we're recovering.
Mountain climbers
Together
on
we'll be
Everest.
stronger.
We learned to live everywhere on
My
Earth.
civilization is not to be
Marcus
trifled
explained.
with.
I
The
see
hot
danger,
places,
but we are
the
not
cold
without
places,
strength.
the high
Queen, I
places,
mean no
and the
offense.
deep places.
Your presence
We built
here is
homes in
bold,
locations that would kill
I
us
only
without
seek
protection. And
We
we
are also
thrived.
more alive.
A young Valnari
And
scholar
we have
drifted
the will
closer,
to survive.
genuinely interested now.
To our
But what
differences,
advantage does
they
this
make
give
this
you?
alliance stronger.
Suffering
And to
is
learn from our
not a
mistakes.
skill.
Together we will.
Adaptation is,
We failed again.
Marcus replied.
Because we're still taking
Every
risks.
species in
Risks
this room
unnecessary.
evolved on Paradise
cost?
Worlds. Your ancestors
endure
were
because you're still
comfortable.
growing.
They had
I will,
everything
for
they
our
needed.
alliance.
But
Good,
human
let us proceed.
ancestors, we had to
So
fight
many
for
ancient,
everything.
Powerful species gathered
Food,
here.
This is our
water,
celebration.
shelter, safety.
This
We
is the
learned to solve
last time
problems
we
because if
fail
we
here.
didn't, we
I won't
died.
let us fail.
Then
He showed
stand
them
firm.
more footage from the 12
This
colony
passage
worlds.
explains our alliance.
Each one was a nightmare
does it
by
invoke
Concordat
me?
standards.
It
Too
requires
hot
your
or
strength.
too cold. Too
Was
much
that the last
gravity
time you
or
tried
not enough.
something new?
Toxic
And it didn't
atmospheres.
work. We must try
Dangerous
again.
Even if it
wildlife.
fails?
Ancient
This
automated
balcony
defense
has stood for
systems
millennia,
left
a
over from
testament to our
forgotten
enduring
wars.
civilization.
And in
incredible.
every
Why shall we?
case,
explain.
humans had found a
My
way
queen,
to
I must
survive.
thank you for
On
saving
Kepler
You seized the moment, Schumann, it is your
1865,
strength.
colonists built
Together then.
underground cities to escape
not asking you
radiation
to become
storms.
like
On
humans.
Proxima Centauri b, They created rotating habitats to deal with tidal locking.
I'm asking you to
On
remember
Wolf
what you used to be.
1061, they farmed
Feels like
using
another life.
bacteria that converted the toxic atmosphere into breathable air. You call these death worlds, Marcus said. We
Our
call them
civilization thrives on
challenges.
harmony,
And humans
weaving
love
individual strengths
challenges.
into a collective.
Zexstar leaned
Perfection
forward.
through balance.
His crystal body reflected the
queen, you have
holographic
returned.
images, creating
You mistaken
strange
me,
light
human. I am
patterns.
not your queen.
Your endurance is noted, Captain Webb, but
You
endurance
adapt well
alone
to
does
our
not
world.
grant you the right to
Your
violate our
hospitality is
laws.
appreciated,
Many
but I am
species
wary.
can
As you
survive
should
harsh
be.
conditions with
Did you
enough
stop?
technology.
I had
But
to.
we're not using
For us.
advanced technology.
To our understanding.
Marcus
And
interrupted.
friendship.
Every tool, every technique we use was developed by humans. We didn't steal it. We didn't buy it
Welcome,
from more
emissary.
advanced
We have
species.
awaited your arrival.
We invented it
Thank you,
ourselves
Majesty.
out of
I bring greetings
necessity.
from my people.
He showed them the
Your
timeline.
resilience intrigues
Humans
me.
had only been in
This company,
space for
this
90
festival is over.
years.
Then let us explore
Only
it
had
together.
faster than light
We face
travel
this
for
together.
40 years. Everything
won't
they
falter, we're
built,
stronger
they
united.
built recently.
Then let them come.
The Concordat has existed for 50,000 years, Marcus said. In that time, how many new colonies have been established by
We were
member
like you
species?
once,
Silence
Like
filled
us.
the chamber.
before the stars
I'll tell
claimed
you,
us.
Marcus continued. According to your
civilization
own
has watched
records,
your world. We offer
zero,
knowledge, but
not
it demands
one new
risk.
colony in 10,000 years.
everything.
Your species
Along
found
the
their
way, you
perfect
became
worlds
more
long
interested in
ago
protecting
and
what
stopped
you have.
exploring.
Protecting
You
what we
stopped
have.
Than in finding
expanding.
what
You
is next.
stopped trying.
The character
The
has
elderly
maintained
crash
peace.
judge clicked her
cost?
mandibles
A price
thoughtfully.
paid in
The
blood.
human makes a
do.
point. We have become
Human,
comfortable.
your arrival is anticipated.
Perhaps too
Thank you, Your
comfortable.
Majesty.
Come,
Comfort
the
is
council
stagnation, Marcus pressed on. Humans
Human,
can't
you have
afford to
peace now.
stagnate.
Thank you, my
We're
queen.
too young,
Enjoy the
too
festival.
hungry. We look at the galaxy and see opportunity.
also stopped
You look
growing.
at it and see
had
only
to
what you already
survive.
own.
Then
A
stand with me.
Draxian military officer stood
This
up in the
volume
gallery.
reveals much about your
He was
people's
massive,
past.
And
with
the
4
future we can
arms
learn
and
from each other.
armor-plated skin.
You're so
Pretty
afraid
words,
of
human,
conflict
but
that you've
words don't
eliminated
matter
all
when
challenge
ships
from
with
your
weapons
existence.
arrive.
What do you know of my
You speak of
challenges?
adaptation and
Our
survival.
civilization was
Can
forged
you
in challenge.
adapt
Without
to
it, there is no
military
growth.
force?
And this
Marcus
city
met the
is
officer's
proof of our
eyes without
trials.
flinching. That's an
You
excellent
stand before me,
question.
human. State
Perhaps
your
we should
purpose.
discuss
Seek
that tomorrow.
understanding, to find strength.
Then
Zexstar
prove it.
raised his hand.
The human
This
insults
session has
us.
provided interesting
Your pride
information.
blinds you.
The human
You test our
species
patience.
shows remarkable stubbornness,
We cannot
but
hide.
stubbornness
Character
is
speaks
not
truth.
the same as capability. Tomorrow, Captain Webb, you will address the question of security. How can your primitive species defend these colonies you have claimed? I look forward to it,
Human, when
Marcus
did you
said
last feel
calmly.
truly
As the
challenged?
session ended
Not in a long
and
time, not
aliens
like this.
filed
Then
out,
prove yourself.
Marcus noticed something
When did you
different.
last strive for
They weren't
something
laughing
difficult?
anymore.
A while
Some
ago,
looked
but we've
thoughtful.
grown stronger.
And we will
Others
again.
looked concerned. A few
12 colony
looked
worlds.
almost
They're
impressed.
under attack.
Show
The
me
elderly
tactical
crash
overlay.
judge
There,
approached
the
him
fleet is
as he
mobilizing.
prepared to leave.
This one
Captain
presents
Webb,
unique
a
challenges.
question, if
Indeed,
I
the
may.
others were too
Of
difficult.
course.
This alliance
Are you
is
afraid?
wise.
She asked. You stand alone against the entire Concordat. You must know that even if we are impressed, we may
Your
still
people have
rule
not seen
against you.
impossible challenges.
Marcus considered
What
this. Yes,
Surviving the
I'm
twilight, forging
terrified.
unity from chaos.
But fear
Here
doesn't
lies our
stop
opportunity
humans.
to prove
It motivates
ourselves.
us.
I see it.
Fear
I'm ready.
reminds us what we're fighting for. The judge
Behold the
clicked
children of
softly.
your world.
Interesting.
They're so
We
full of
evolved
life.
past fear
This is
long
what we
ago.
must protect.
Perhaps that was a mistake.
alliance,
She
your
walked
strength from
away,
heavy gravity
leaving
is
Marcus
formidable.
alone in the empty
our
chamber.
friendship.
1 day down,
honored.
2 to go. And tomorrow, he would have to convince them that humanity was more than just stubborn survivors. Tomorrow,
worlds were
he would
forbidden
have to
because
show
you
them
couldn't handle them.
humanity's
We could
teeth.
have learned.
Day
would
2
not have
began
survived.
differently. Marcus
crystalline
arrived at the
judge has
chamber to
considered your
find
plea.
armed guards
Come in peace, seek an
everywhere.
alliance.
Your
Draxian
fragility is
soldiers stood
evident.
at
Why should
every
we ally?
entrance, their 4
Do you
arms
believe
resting
this
on weapons that
justifies
hummed
breaking
with
our
energy.
laws?
I
The
do,
atmosphere
for
had
peace it's worth it.
changed. Yesterday was about survival. Today was about threat. Fleet Commander Vosh waited at the center of
believe
the
it makes the
chamber.
law worth
He was the
reconsidering.
largest
Your perspective
Draxian
is
Marcus
noted. We
had
shall discuss
ever
it
seen,
further.
covered in thick
I
armor
wrote that law
plates
to
that
protect
looked
my
like they could
species from
stop a
danger.
missile.
A noble
His
act.
4 eyes glowed
But what cost to
red
you?
as he watched Marcus
What if
approach.
the danger is
Captain
exactly
Webb,
what we
Vosh
need?
growled.
Danger. Your
Today, we
civilization
discuss a
will forge
serious
you anew.
matter.
Struggle
Your
is
colonies
how we
are
grow.
not just surviving
what if
on
I
restricted
refuse to
worlds.
grow?
They are
Then you
militarized.
perish.
You have built weapons, defense systems, armed stations. This violates the Armament
The real
Accords.
question isn't whether
Zexstar
humanity
took his
deserves
seat
these
among the
wealth.
other
We don't
judges.
claim to deserve them,
Commander
we only ask
Vosh
to
brings
share.
Have
evidence
you
of
become
human
so afraid
military
of risk
buildup.
that you'd rather
This
see
is a
worlds sit
grave
in darkness?
accusation,
I'm not afraid,
Captain
I'm just
Webb.
recovering.
Explain
Then
yourself.
rise.
Marcus nodded
In
slowly.
peace,
I
I
won't
come
deny
before
it.
Your gesture
Every
is
human
accepted.
colony
We
has
shall parley.
significant defensive capabilities.
We're not
The
asking
chamber
for your
gasped.
planets.
Marcus had just admitted to breaking another law. Vosh
We're not
slammed
demanding
one
luxury.
massive fist on his
I know.
podium.
Just survival.
You
Then stand with
confess.
me.
then this trial is over.
We're taking
The
the worlds
Concordat
you
cannot
abandoned.
allow armed primitives
can't just
to...
erase our history.
Let me finish, Marcus interrupted calmly. We built defenses because we needed them. You want to know why? Let me show you. He activated his data device
We
again.
must prepare.
The
Who are they? What do
hologram
they
showed
want?
one
My
of the colony
civilization will
worlds,
stand with
New
you.
Anchorage.
Rest
The
now,
peaceful
human. You are
image
safe.
suddenly changed.
Why? This feels
A
so
fleet
wrong.
of unmarked
Because
ships
I watch
appeared,
over you.
descending on the
You
colony.
find me threatening
Pirates.
because I remind you
This
of
happened
something
6
you've
months
lost.
after we
What do
established
you know
New
of my
Anchorage,
losses?
Marcus
The
explained.
young character scholar spoke
Pirates thought a
quietly.
new human colony would be easy prey. They were wrong. The hologram
We
showed
love
the
us,
battle.
Captain.
The
The
battle is
pirates
not
attacked
over.
with
We stand
superior
defiant.
ships and
with
weapons.
you.
They should have won easily. But the humans fought back in unexpected ways. Marcus narrated the footage.
The hunger.
We couldn't match their firepower,
drives all.
so
What do
we
you
didn't
want from
try.
An
Instead,
alliance.
we used the
Why?
planet itself.
Our
See
civilization
here,
thrives
we
not on
vented
ease, but on the
atmosphere
willingness
from our
to struggle for
industrial
something greater.
processors,
And that
created
struggle
a
gives us
cloud that
purpose.
disrupted their sensors.
achieved
Then
everything.
we used mining lasers,
couldn't have done it
tools,
without you.
not weapons, to target their engines. The
You are
pirates in the
recovering well.
recording
Are you
grew
ready to embrace
confused.
your role?
Their ships
I
started
am.
I won't
malfunctioning.
fail you.
Good, our
They couldn't
worlds
see
depend on it.
properly, couldn't
You
coordinate.
have nothing left
The
to reach
humans,
for.
fighting from their
I
own
know.
planet with equipment
Then
they knew
accept it.
intimately, picked the pirates apart piece by
That's the
piece.
saddest thing
We
I've
didn't
ever
destroy them, Marcus continued. We disabled them. Then we captured their ships and sent the pirates to the nearest Concordat security station. With evidence of their
This
crimes,
festival
a
celebrates our
Velnari
unity.
judge swirled
Here's the note.
forward.
Thank you.
Clever. But cleverness with mining equipment is different from building actual military installations.
Is it?
Marcus asked. He showed
Captain,
another recording,
you will have
this
our
time
answer
from
tomorrow.
Kepler. 186F.
You are recovering.
A swarm of old machines,
you.
left over from some
We are
ancient
allies.
war, had activated and attacked the colony. Thousands of automated drones, with one programming: destroy all
Welcome,
life.
human. You arrive
These
at a
machines
pivotal
were from before the
Thank you, Your
Concordat
Majesty. I
even
come on behalf of
existed,
Earth.
Marcus
Speak.
said. Your own
defiance
records
spread
show
across the
3
station.
previous
I stood against
civilizations
you.
tried to
And
settle
now we
this world.
celebrate.
All 3 were wiped out
So
by
this
these
is your
drones.
final defeat.
You marked the
No, it's
planet
our last
as
stand.
cursed
Then
and
we
forbidden.
face it together.
Yet you settled there
character came
anyway,
hoping to see
Zexar
something
observed.
remarkable.
This
We
text
did,
holds truths
Marcus
from my
agreed.
world.
And insights
And
from
when the
mine.
drones woke up, we were ready. The hologram showed the human response. They didn't fight the drones with bullets
My
or
civilization
lasers.
has thrived for
Instead,
millennia
they
in
used
harmony with the
electromagnetic
stars.
pulses,
Incredible.
adapted
Why me?
from their own communication
You have
equipment.
resisted long
They
enough.
hacked the ancient
I stand
programming
alone, but I
using
do not
techniques
yield.
borrowed from Earth computer science. They turned the drones against each other. Within a week, the drone threat that had destroyed 3 civilizations
friendship.
was eliminated.
May it bridge
We
our
didn't bring
worlds.
weapons to
Friendship
these
and
worlds,
understanding.
Marcus explained. We brought tools and knowledge. But when something threatened our families, our children, our
Captain,
homes, we
your
turned
delegation
those
arrives at
tools
last.
into weapons.
We are honored by
Because that's what humans do.
You have
we
demonstrated
adapt.
that humans can
Vosh was
survive
not
harsh
impressed.
We adapt
You
and
speak of
endure.
small victories
Together we
against
shall
pirates
prevail.
and old machines.
Your species
The
clashes
Draxian
with
Empire
ours.
commands
We've shown
battle
we can
fleets
hold
that
our
have
own.
conquered
Then
entire
prove it
star
here.
systems. What would your clever
This
tricks
passage
do
is
against
enlightening.
real military
Yes,
might?
I see what you
Marcus
mean.
looked directly at the massive warrior.
The issue remains.
You want honesty, Commander?
but I'm getting
We
stronger.
would lose.
Your recovery is
If
essential.
the Concordat decided to destroy our
Those 12
colonies with
worlds were
full
designated
military
as
force,
restricted.
we
Why?
couldn't
We
stop
needed
you.
resources.
To
The
protect
chamber
them from
stirred with
exploitation.
surprise.
People
This
will
was not the
evacuate
defiant
colonies
answer
within
they
6 standard
expected.
months.
But,
Understood. We'll be
Marcus
ready.
continued, and his voice
Human,
grew
your
harder.
actions have
You would
consequences.
pay
This
a
is your
price
final
you've
judgment.
never had to pay
choose
before.
that.
He brought up a new
You have
display.
anything to say
It showed
before we make
complex
it official?
calculations and simulations. Our strategic defense initiative ran wargame scenarios, full concorded assault on all 12 human colonies, different approaches,
Have you grasped the
different
core principles
tactics.
yet?
We
It's
ran
difficult, but I'm getting
10,000
there.
simulations.
We proceed.
Vosh leaned
Was this the
forward,
last time you
interested
established
despite
a new
himself.
colony?
In
Yes,
every
a new
simulation,
era
we
begins.
lose, Marcus admitted.
Zex
But in every
paused. This is the
simulation,
heart
you
of our
lose between 30
civilization.
and 40% of your
incredible what
attacking
happened here.
A great
forces.
sacrifice.
The number hung in the air
Your
like a
identity
bomb.
is irrelevant.
Impossible,
What matters is
Vosh
the role you
snapped.
play in this.
Your
And what
technology
is that
is
role?
centuries behind ours.
You are
Your
safe here,
ships
human.
are
I
slow.
will protect you.
I
Your
don't need
weapons are
protection, I
weak.
need
True,
answers.
Then
Marcus
listen
agreed.
well.
But we don't fight
checked
like you
your
do.
records.
Your
And
species,
what did you
all
find?
concorded species,
Enough to
you
offer
have
this
rules
toast.
of engagement, honor codes, acceptable warfare protocols. You fight to prove superiority and establish dominance.
I welcome you to our
He
palace,
paused.
human.
Humans fight
Thank
to
you for receiving
survive.
me, Queen.
Your presence
And when we
honors
fight to
us.
survive, we don't follow
Your strength
rules.
returns. You
Marcus
honor
showed
us
them
here.
scenarios.
I owe it to you,
Humans
my queen.
using civilian ships as weapons, ramming them
approach.
into military
Stand firm.
vessels.
With you.
Colonists
Always.
rigging
shadows
entire
lengthen.
settlements to
them
explode,
come.
denying the enemy any
This
victory.
passage on ancient
Retreat
alliances is
tactics where
crucial.
every step back
see.
was covered
It
with
aligns with
traps
our
and
recovery.
ambushes. We would use
Character
biological
had no need
weapons
for
if we had
expansion.
to,
What do you
Marcus
mean?
said quietly.
You will see.
Chemical weapons.
Our worlds are
Psychological
sufficient
warfare.
because we embrace
We would
balance and
hack
distance.
your systems,
Your city is
poison
proof of that
your
harmony.
supplies, target your
came back
commanders
for
with
them.
suicide attacks.
protect what is
We would
mine.
make every
Thank you,
meter of
Queen.
ground cost you blood and resources.
Welcome to our world,
The elderly
human.
Kresh
You arrive
judge
weakened.
looked disturbed.
I appreciate the
This
intelligent
is
approach to ours.
barbaric.
This
Yes,
festival honors
Marcus
the spirit
agreed
of
without shame.
exploration.
It is.
Come, let us celebrate.
Because humans remember being prey.
The character controls
Every species in this room
3,214
evolved to
inhabited
be
worlds.
predators,
And yet
or
here we are,
evolved
back to
past the
back.
need for violence.
We have
But
marked another
humans,
8,000
we were
worlds
hunted
as
by
restricted.
bigger, stronger,
Unnecessary
faster
measure, my queen.
creatures for millions of years. We survived by being sneaky, by being vicious, by never giving up even when
Our
we should.
civilization has endured
He
for
showed them
millennia.
Earth's history.
Extraordinary. How did you
Humans
survive?
fighting wars
Through
against
unity and
impossible
vision.
odds. Soldiers
not
holding
growing.
positions
What
they
do you
should have
mean?
abandoned.
You have not
Civilians
changed. You are
resisting
still
occupations that should have broken them.
You are just a
Again
human.
and again. Humans
And you're
refusing
just an
to
alien.
accept defeat. You know what's terrifying
To
about
maintaining what
humans,
we've built
Commander
together.
Vosh? Marcus
To our
asked.
alliance.
We lose battles all the time. We're actually pretty
strength
bad at winning
returns.
fights against
The colonies
superior
will be protected.
opponents.
I won't fail them.
But we
Rest
almost
now.
never lose wars because we just
worlds
keep
are settled,
coming back.
welcome.
We learn
Thank
from
you.
every
Come in
defeat.
peace.
Then let
We
this
adapt.
union begin.
We evolve our tactics.
This
And
festival
eventually,
is a testament
we
to our
win.
enduring alliance.
Vosh stood silent, processing
bringing
this.
me.
Marcus pressed his advantage. The Concordat has enjoyed 50,000 years of peace. Beautiful, comfortable peace. But that peace exists because nobody challenges you. You're too strong. Too
proper
advanced.
evaluation.
What happens when someone
Evaluation
fights
of
you
what?
who doesn't
Your
care
recovery.
about the cost?
then?
Who
Further
will
assessment.
sacrifice
Our
everything just to
civilization
hurt you?
thrives on careful
He
harmony
brought
with
up
all
one
life.
final
Careful.
image.
Sounds like
It
a
showed
dream.
It
Earth
requires vigilance.
during one of its world
Human, you
wars.
stand before me.
Entire
State your
cities
purpose.
destroyed,
I see
millions
based on
dead.
Peace is earned.
And still,
We do not
humans
rush
kept
into
fighting.
colonization like reckless
This
children.
is what we did
Then
to
how
each
do we
other,
proceed?
Marcus
With
said
patience and
softly.
wisdom.
Imagine
Human,
what we
we do
would
not
do
take
to an
risks.
outside threat trying to
understand
destroy
why.
our new homes.
Good.
The
Proceed with
chamber
caution.
was completely
This
silent.
festival is unlike any
Zexstar
on my
finally
world.
spoke.
It's
You
good to
threaten
share
us,
it with
Captain
you.
Webb? No, Marcus
You're
replied.
so
I'm being
focused on
honest with you.
preserving what you have
You
that
asked
you've
about our
forgotten how
military
to create
capabilities.
anything new.
This is the truth.
The chamber
We're not
erupts
strong
angry
enough to
voices.
defeat you,
I hear
but
them.
we're
We can't
stubborn
ignore
enough to
this.
make victory
Then we
so
act
expensive
now.
that you'll
I
question if
insulted
it was
them
worth
all.
it.
You are bold.
He looked
for
around the
one so
chamber.
weakened.
Every
Boldness is all
species
I
here
have
achieved
left.
peace through
Silence.
strength.
The queen will speak.
You built mighty
Let her speak.
civilizations,
Our
and the
civilization
galaxy
values
bowed to
harmony
you.
above all.
Humans achieved
queen,
our greatest
humanity is not
accomplishments
defeated.
through struggle.
Your resilience is
We
no
got strong
insufficient.
because
Then
we
let me
had to
prove
be,
our worth.
and we haven't
I
forgotten
want
how.
to hear this.
Where
The
should I
young
begin?
Velnari
From the
scholar
beginning,
from
leave nothing
yesterday
out.
drifted
As you
forward.
wish.
You said you would use any weapon, any tactic. Doesn't that make you dangerous to everyone? Why should we
not
trust
trying to
you?
insult anyone.
Marcus softened slightly. Because we only fight when we have to.
I'm trying to help you
Humans
see
don't
something
want
you've
war.
missed.
We want
What
to
do you
build
The
homes,
truth.
raise families, live in peace.
gathering
But
is
if someone
ancient,
tries
a
to
bridge
take that
between
away
our
from
worlds.
us,
It is an
he
honor
didn't
to share
finish
it.
the sentence.
And to learn.
He didn't
When
need
did
to.
you last create
Vosh
something truly
suddenly
new?
laughed.
I don't
It
remember.
was a deep,
Then find
booming
out.
sound
Try.
that echoed through the chamber.
The
The
stars
human
speak through
has
these
courage,
pages.
I'll grant him that.
They guide us to new
Threatening the
horizons.
Concordat to its face.
Not
This tone
threatening.
holds our people's
Marcus
history.
corrected.
See how our arts mirror the
Warning,
stars?
there's a
So different
difference.
from ours.
Indeed.
Zexstar
Our
raised
culture
his
is built
crystalline
on harmony
hand.
with the stars,
This
a
session
beauty
is
beyond
concluded.
compare.
We will
incredible. The
consider
world is
what we have
beautiful.
heard. Captain
My
Webb,
queen, I have
you have
stumbled.
one more day.
Rise.
Choose your final
Your presence
testimony
is noted.
wisely. As
Our
Marcus
alliance
left
is
the
forged in
chamber,
trust.
he noticed
I understand
Vosh
that will not
watching him
fail.
with
Good.
new
Together
respect.
we endure.
Several other aliens
Twilight's
looked at him
embrace,
differently
our ancients
too.
forged bonds with
Not with
time.
mockery anymore.
It is why I
Now,
watch over
they
you.
looked at him with caution.
These festivities
and
are a
maybe,
joy.
just
Yes, they
maybe,
lift the spirit.
that
This
was a
is an
start.
outrage. What's the
On
meaning
the
of
third
this?
and final day, the Grand Tribunal chamber was packed beyond capacity. Aliens filled every available space. Word had spread across the entire station about the human who stood against the Concordat.
I counted
Some
gently.
came to see him finally defeated. Others came hoping to see something
Our
remarkable.
civilization is built on
Marcus
harmony.
walked to the center platform one last time.
Comes from unity,
He looked
as you will
tired.
see.
3 days of
You've
standing
become so
alone against the
good at
galaxy's
preserving
most
the
powerful
past that you stopped
civilizations had
building the
worn him
future.
down. but his eyes were
These are
still
the human
bright,
colonies,
still
our
determined.
strongholds.
Zexstar did not
persistence
wait
is
for
noted. Show me
formalities.
more.
We can be
Captain
allies.
Webb, you have demonstrated
To
that
our
humans
alliance.
can survive harsh
Understanding.
worlds. You have shown that your species fights with unconventional methods. But none of this changes the fundamental issue.
Welcome, emissary
The
of Earth.
Concordat designated
Thank you,
those
Your
12
Majesty. We are here
worlds
to
as
build upon
restricted.
shared knowledge.
You violated our law.
We
You
have been in
settled
space
where
for
you were
less than a
forbidden to
century.
settle. The crystal
A little
being's
time,
voice
yet
grew
so much
colder.
to share.
Your people will evacuate
We're
the
already
colonies within
creating
6
new
standard
things.
months.
I know. We have to.
Is our
And we
final
will.
judgment. Do you have anything to say before we make it official? Marcus looked up at the head judge. Just one question, High
We are
Arbiter.
not better
When
than
was
you.
the last time the
Then why?
Concordat established a
we're
new
still struggling.
colony? Zexstar paused.
Behold our world
That is
forged in
irrelevant.
harmony with the
Is it?
stars.
Marcus
incredible.
pressed.
How did your
I
people
checked your
achieve
records. The last
I'm
new
saying the
Concordat
character has
colony
become
was
comfortable.
established 11,423 years ago.
You've had
Since
peace
then,
for 50,000
nothing.
years.
No
And we
expansion.
are grateful, Queen.
No
Gratitude is not
exploration,
enough.
no growth. A
That's
Kresh
wonderful.
judge clicked
It
irritably.
is. I'm glad
We
to be
have
here.
no need
You
for
honor us
expansion.
with your strength.
We have sufficient worlds.
Character peace without
Exactly
challenge
my
leads to
point,
stagnation.
Marcus
Then we
said.
fight to
He
survive.
activated his data device one final
You're not
time.
moving
The
forward
hologram
anymore.
showed the galaxy with
do you
thousands of planets
is your
marked in
limit.
different colors. Blue for inhabited worlds, red for restricted worlds, gray for unexplored space.
Our
The
civilization
Concordat
has
controls
thrived for millennia.
3,214
A
inhabited
cost you cannot
worlds,
yet
Marcus
comprehend.
began. You
You
have
think your
marked
chaotic,
another
intense
8,000
species is
worlds
better?
as restricted for
disorder is a
various
weakness.
reasons.
It's called freedom.
That leaves millions of
cannot
unexplored
define me.
planets,
This
but you're
world
not
bends to
exploring
my
them.
will.
You're
I
not
won't yield.
growing.
Your
You're
words
just
nothing will break.
maintaining what you
Your
have.
kind damaged your own planet.
He zoomed in
Paid a
on the
heavy
12
price.
human colonies.
To friendship.
These worlds we settled, you marked them restricted over 1,000 years ago. And in all that time, no Concordat species tried to
We're
settle
not
them.
better.
They just
But
sat
we can be
empty,
equals.
waiting.
Our differences
For what?
are vast.
For proper evaluation,
messier, but this is
Zexstar
better.
replied stiffly.
Yeah, it is.
We are careful,
Let's enjoy the
responsible. We do not rush into colonization like reckless children. No, Marcus agreed. You don't rush into anything anymore.
passage
You
is
don't take
fascinating.
risks.
Yes,
You don't try new
different perspective
things.
entirely.
You're so
Let us
focused
continue.
on preserving what you have that you've forgotten how to create anything new. The chamber erupted in angry voices.
We build by trying.
Marcus had
Mistakes are
insulted
inevitable.
them all.
So you adapt through failure.
But the elderly
Exactly, it's how
Kresh
we
judge
progress.
raised
A
her
lesson
claw
for
for
us all.
silence.
all these
Let him
ancient
speak.
species. It's incredible.
I want
Indeed.
to hear this.
To our friendship.
Marcus nodded gratefully to her. Thank you. Look, I'm not trying to insult anyone. I'm trying to help you see
The mission
something you've
failed.
missed.
Your
The
people are
Concordat
accountable.
is ancient,
Storm was unforeseen.
powerful,
We will recover.
wise.
Prove it.
But when did you
When was
last
the
create
last time
something
you tried
truly
something
new?
And
He
it
changed
didn't
the
work.
display.
Then it's
It showed
time to try
art,
again.
music, literature
They
from
are
various
close. We stand
Concordat
together.
species.
I
Your
won't let you
culture is
down.
beautiful,
Then we
but I
fight.
studied it. Every piece of art created in the last 5,000 years is a variation of older art. Every song is based on ancient songs. Every story retells old stories. Nothing is original anymore.
Your fragility
A
is not a
Valnari
flaw, it
artist
is by
swirled
design.
angrily.
Designed by whom?
Our culture is
civilization
refined,
beyond your comprehension.
perfected over
We become
millennia.
risk-averse.
Frozen,
Prudence has
Marcus
its
countered
place.
gently.
Then we agree.
Not perfected,
You are
frozen.
safe here.
You've become so good
Why
at
help
preserving
me?
the past
How
that you've
can I?
stopped building the future. He showed images of
To
human
our
colonies
friendship.
again, but this time he focused
new
on different
alliances.
things. A new musical instrument invented
I'm not
on new
asking you to
anchorage
become
that
like
combined
humans.
earth drums with
Then what?
crystalline resonators found
Coexistence.
on the planet. Architecture
I'm
on
asking you
Kepler.
to remember what you used to do.
186F that blended
I don't know
human
if I can.
engineering with
You will.
techniques adapted from
You were
studying
once a
ancient
young
alien
species
ruins.
reaching for the stars.
Humans
still
have been
are,
in space
together.
for less than a century, Marcus said. But we're already creating new things. New art, new music, new
This
ways
passage
of living.
suggests a peaceful resolution.
Not because we're better than you,
Conflict.
but because we're still struggling,
resilience is
still
remarkable,
learning,
human.
still
Thanks.
hungry.
It's
The
good to be
young
alive.
Valnari
adapt well.
scholar drifted closer.
Did you stop
What are you
to wonder
saying,
why?
Captain Webb?
I did.
I'm
but I need
saying the
answers.
The city
Concordat
is
has
ancient,
become
our
comfortable,
civilization built
Marcus
it.
replied.
Behold, the
You've had
history of my
peace
people.
for 50,000 years.
What does this
That's
mean for us?
wonderful.
It is your legacy.
Truly.
You are safe
But
here.
peace
human.
without
My protection
challenge
is
leads to
absolute. I
stagnation.
am grateful,
You're
but I
not
must
moving
know
forward
why.
anymore.
In time.
You're just standing
You have
still,
survived.
admiring
What is
what
your
you
resolve?
built long
people will
ago.
rise, we will
Zexstar's
stand.
crystalline
Prove it.
form flashed with
To our
annoyance.
alliance.
And you think
To
your chaotic,
understanding.
violent
And a
species is
shared
better?
future.
You who fight wars
To
among
new friendships
yourselves.
across the stars.
You
And to
who damage your
understanding
own
between our
planet?
worlds.
No, Marcus said quietly.
Rest now.
We're not better. We're messier, more dangerous, more foolish, but we're also more alive. We make mistakes because we're still trying things. We fail because we're still taking risks. We suffer because we're still growing. He looked around the chamber at all the ancient, powerful species. When was the last time anyone in this room failed at something?
We were like you once.
Really failed? When was the last time you tried something new and it didn't work? Silence filled the chamber. Long, uncomfortable silence. The elderly Kresh judge clicked
We risk
thoughtfully.
everything for this discovery.
The human makes an uncomfortable point. We have
Then stand
become
firm.
risk-averse.
We risk everything
Perhaps
for this
overly
discovery.
so. Marcus seized the moment.
Then stand
I'm not
with me.
asking you to become like humans. I'm asking you to remember what you used to be. All of you were once young species,
Along
reaching
the way,
for the
you became more
stars,
interested in
taking
protecting what
chances,
you have.
making mistakes,
finding one.
building something new. When did you stop him? He showed images of ancient Concordat history. The first Kresh colony ships, the early Velnari exploration vessels, the Draxian
You
expansion
speak of things
fleets,
you do not
all from
understand.
thousands of years ago.
This
You
is
were
the
like
heart of
us
our
once,
civilization.
Marcus said softly.
You speak of things
Hungry,
you do not
curious,
Then explain
willing
it
to
me.
risk everything
My
for
civilization is
discovery.
beyond comprehension.
Somewhere along the way,
character
you
has
became more
maintained
interested
peace.
in protecting
At what
what you
cost?
have than in
price
finding
paid
what
in
you could
silence.
have.
The
Zek
council
Star
questions your
stood
presence.
abruptly.
I earned my
Enough.
place here.
You
What was
speak of
that?
things you
An
do not
interruption.
understand.
Character
The
who have
Concordat
peace.
has maintained peace. At
To our
what
friendship.
cost? Marcus interrupted. Yes,
You've also
you have
stopped
peace,
growing.
but you've also
mean?
stopped
Your
growing.
body has reached its
Stopped
limit.
evolving.
see.
You're so afraid of
Welcome,
conflict
human. Your
that you've
resilience honors
eliminated
this whole.
all
you.
challenge from your
The journey was
existence.
Speak
And
your
without
truth.
challenge, there's no growth.
You're so afraid of conflict
A
that you've
Draxian
eliminated
general
all
in the gallery
challenge from your
stood.
existence.
Maybe.
The human insults
choice is
us,
there?
this cannot.
We face this
He
together.
speaks truth.
I'm with
The
you,
elderly
my
Kresh judge
Hold
interrupted.
the line. They advance.
Uncomfortable
For our
truth,
worlds.
but truth
This passage on
nonetheless.
ancient
When did
alliances
we
is
last feel
Indeed.
Our
truly
histories
challenged?
entwine more than
When did we
foundation for
last strive for something
The human
difficult?
insults us.
Marcus pointed to the display
speak the
showing the
truth.
12 colony worlds.
truth is
Every
offensive.
single one of
Our
these planets
civilization
presented
speaks in
challenges that
truths.
the
I can
Concordat
listen.
deemed
He
too
cannot
difficult.
grasp it.
So
He
you
will
marked them
learn.
as forbidden and moved on.
did we
But
last
humans
feel truly
didn't see
challenged?
impossible
has been a
challenges.
long time.
We saw
And now?
opportunities
I am
to
ready.
prove ourselves.
Did we
He
last
showed
strive
footage
for
of
something
children
difficult?
playing on New Anchorage. Kids
We
born in
overcome
heavy
perseverance.
gravity, stronger than Earth children.
These 12 colony worlds
Learning
are
to
our
thrive
future.
in conditions
Indeed,
their
the survival
parents found
depends on our
difficult.
vigilance.
My daughter lives on New Anchorage,
We
Marcus
survived.
said, his voice thick
Our
with emotion.
differences will define
She's
us.
7 years old.
This
She's never been
celebration's
to Earth.
incredible.
It is a
When I
gathering
told
of
her
joy
about
and
our home
unity.
planet,
I'm
the
glad to
easy
share it with
gravity,
you.
the breathable
They
air,
didn't see
the
this
comfortable
challenge.
temperatures, you know
But
what
we
she
stand
said?
together
The chamber
against the
waited.
impossible.
She said it
And we will
sounded
prevail.
boring. Several
saw
aliens made
opportunities to
sounds
prove
that might have been
ourselves.
laughter.
Yes.
Marcus
Together
smiled
we can show
sadly.
them.
That's the difference between
Observe.
humans and
This
the
is what your kind
Concordat.
cherishes.
You've
Children
made
playing.
everything
It's
so
beautiful.
comfortable,
shared
so
joy.
safe, so
My kind is
easy
born in
that your
heavy
children
gravity.
don't
We are
know what it
stronger.
means to
Stronger than
struggle.
us.
Stronger than
Our
you can
children are
imagine.
growing up on death
Our
worlds.
children will thrive.
They're
where their
learning that
parents could
difficulty
not.
makes you
Yes.
strong,
A
that
new era
challenges
begins.
help you grow. He faced
Your
Zek
daughter
Star
lives
directly.
on through this.
You're right that
How
we
can this
violated
be?
your law.
Through me,
We
she lives
settled
through
on
me.
forbidden worlds.
She's 7
But
years
those
old.
worlds were only forbidden
She
because
seems
you
so
couldn't
mature.
handle them.
To understanding.
We can. And in doing so,
are
we're
safe
becoming
here.
something you haven't seen
feel it.
in 50,000 years.
Rest now.
A species that's still
I told her
evolving,
about our home
still
planet, the
improving,
easy gravity, the
still
breathable
reaching
air.
for more.
Your
The
welfare
crystalline
sensitive
judge
region.
seemed to consider
The
this.
chamber waited for this.
And you believe this
I
justifies
never
breaking our
imagined such a
laws?
celebration.
No.
We enjoy
Marcus
it together.
admitted. But I believe it
The
makes the
human said
law
it
worth
sounded boring.
reconsidering. You wrote
It won't
that
be.
law to
We're ready.
protect species from danger, but what if the danger is exactly what we need? What if struggle is how we grow? He took a deep breath. The
I
real
owe you
question
my
isn't
life.
whether humanity deserves these
recovering.
worlds.
That is
The
all that
question
matters.
is whether the Concordat has become
That's
so
the
afraid of
difference
risk
between
that
humans
you'd
and
rather
us.
see worlds sit
Your
empty
coming
forever
falters.
than
We
watch a
endure.
young species challenge
You've
themselves
made
on
everything
those
so
worlds.
comfortable, so safe,
Marcus spread
so
his
easy
arms
that your
wide.
children don't know what
We're
it
not
means to
asking for
struggle.
your best
The
planets.
children
We're
are
not
growing up
demanding
on the departure
luxury.
worlds.
We're taking the
path is their own
worlds
now.
you abandoned,
must be.
the difficult ones, the
The trials
dangerous
we've
ones,
endured have
the
forged
ones
the
that
strength
require
between
work
us.
and sacrifice and
stronger
determination. And we're turning them
protect
into
me?
homes.
You will grow stronger.
He looked
It
around
is
at all the
necessary.
assembled
I
aliens.
understand.
Is that really
Human,
so
you
wrong?
stand before Zek Star.
Or is it
face you
threatening because
directly,
it reminds
Zek
you of
State your
something you've
purpose.
lost?
I seek
The
alliance.
young Velnari scholar
You're right
spoke
that we
quietly.
violated your law.
What have
was
we
not our
lost,
intent.
Captain Webb?
Intent does not erase
Marcus met their
consequence.
gaze. The hunger, the drive, the willingness to struggle for something greater. You've achieved everything.
Those worlds were
accomplished
forbidden because you couldn't
everything.
handle them.
Now you have nothing left to
Now
reach
we
for.
explore them together.
And that's
In doing
the
so, we're
saddest thing
becoming
I've ever
something you
seen.
haven't seen in 50,000 years.
Zexthar raised
A
his
new
hand.
species?
This session
Our
is
civilization
concluded. The
thrives
tribunal
on
will
I see.
deliberate.
The world is beautiful.
It
Captain
is. You are
Webb, you
beginning
will
to
have our
understand.
answer tomorrow. As the chamber emptied, Marcus stood alone on the platform. He had given everything he had, said everything he could say. Now, all he could do was wait and hope he had changed their
Do you believe
minds.
this justifies
Tomorrow
breaking our
would
laws?
decide humanity's
I do. The
future
risk was necessary
among
for
the
peace.
stars. On the third and final day, the Grand Tribunal chamber was packed beyond capacity. Aliens filled every available
Queen, I believe
space.
this law is
Word
worth
had spread
reconsidering.
across the
Your
entire
belief is
station
noted.
about the
It could
human who
unify
stood
our
against the
peoples.
Concordat.
You wrote that law
Some
to
came to
protect
see
our
him
species.
finally
I did.
defeated.
It safeguards us from the
Others
dangers
came
of the
hoping to
unknown.
see something
will.
remarkable.
What if
Marcus
the
walked to the
danger
center
is
platform
exactly
one
what we
last
need?
time.
To survive
He looked tired.
or to win.
3 days of standing alone against the galaxy's
passage
most
is
powerful
extraordinary.
civilizations had
It
worn him
mirrors our own
down.
struggles.
But his eyes were still bright, still determined. Zexthar did not wait for formalities. Captain Webb,
The real question
you
isn't whether
have
humanity
demonstrated
deserves
that
these
humans
worlds.
can survive
It's whether your
harsh
fleeting
worlds.
grasp can match our
You
eternal
have
vision.
shown that your
Have you
species
become
fights
so
with
afraid of risk that you'd
unconventional
rather see
methods,
worlds
but
sit
none of
idle?
this changes the
Caution is
fundamental
fear, it's
issue.
wisdom.
The Concordat designated those 12 worlds as restricted. You violated our law. You settled where you
asking
were
for your
forbidden
best
to settle.
planets.
The crystal
You don't
being's voice
understand.
grew colder.
Earth is our best.
Your people will evacuate the
Rest
colonies
now. I
within
am
6
watching over
standard
you.
months.
Thank you for your
This is our final judgment. Do you
We're
have
taking
anything
the
to say
worlds you
before we
abandoned.
make it official?
They are
Marcus
not yours
looked
to
up at the
claim.
head judge. Just one question,
The difficult
High
ones are
Arbiter.
often the most rewarding.
When was the last time the
Enjoying
Concordat
this
established a
makes it
new
worthwhile.
colony?
Indeed. Let us proceed.
Zexthar paused. That is irrelevant, is it? Marcus pressed. I checked your records. The last new Concordat colony was established 11,423 years ago. Since then, nothing. No expansion, no exploration, no growth. A
Look
Kresh
around you.
judge
This is the
clicked
heart of our
irritably. We have no need for
incredible. So
expansion.
many different
We
beings.
have sufficient worlds.
This is wrong.
exactly my
It is
point,
necessary.
Marcus said.
How can you say
He
that?
activated
You do
his
not
data
understand.
device one final
Why are
time.
you here?
The hologram showed
am
the
what you
galaxy,
have lost.
with thousands
No,
of planets
you can't
marked in
be.
different colors. Blue for
Alien,
inhabited
queen, and
worlds,
human are
red
distinctly
for
different
restricted
in
worlds,
appearance.
gray for unexplored space. The Concordat controls
Captain, have we lost?
3,214
Not yet.
inhabited worlds.
We have to hold on.
Marcus began. You have marked another 8,000 worlds as restricted for various reasons. That leaves millions of unexplored planets. But
The
you're
hunger.
not exploring them.
I feel
You're
it
not
too.
growing. You're
It binds
just
us.
maintaining
Then we
what you
face it.
have.
We
He
stand
zoomed
united
in
the struggle.
on the 12
Something
human
greater than
colonies.
ourselves.
Yes.
These worlds
Hold
we
the line.
settled, you marked them restricted over
achieved
1,000
everything.
years ago. And in
Not
all
without
that
you.
time, no Concordat
alliance is
species
strong.
tried to settle them. They just sat empty, waiting. For what? For proper evaluation,
You have nothing
Zexthar
left to
replied
reach
stiffly.
do
We
you want
are
from me?
careful,
To
responsible.
explain our civilization.
We do not rush into
That is the
colonization
saddest
like
thing I
reckless
have
children.
ever seen.
No,
felt better.
Marcus agreed.
You will recover.
You don't rush into anything anymore. You don't take risks. You don't try new things. You're so focused on preserving
Our
what you
session is
have
concluded.
that you've forgotten how to
To our
create
friendship.
anything new. The chamber erupted in angry voices. Marcus had insulted them all. But the elderly Kresh judge raised her claw for silence.
Captain,
let him speak.
you will have our answer
I want
tomorrow.
to hear this. Marcus nodded gratefully to her. Thank you. Look, I'm not trying to insult anyone. I'm trying to help you see something you've missed. The Concordat is
everything I
ancient,
have.
powerful,
Then stand with me. We end
wise.
this.
But when did you last create something truly
never thought
new?
I'd share this with
He
anyone.
changed the display.
Our stories
It showed
intertwine,
art,
human.
music, literature from various Concordat species. Your culture is beautiful, but I studied it. Every piece of art created
the
in the last
stars, your choice
5,000
will shape
years is
humanity's
a
future among
variation
them.
of
Our
older
civilization's
art.
how?
Every
You are the
song is
bridge.
based on ancient songs. Every story retells old stories. Nothing is original anymore. A Velnari
The stars
artist
call to us,
swirled
human.
angrily.
I see our
Our
future
culture
Then
is
we proceed
refined,
together.
perfected
to the
over
12 colonies.
millennia.
May this alliance endure.
To new horizons and shared
Frozen,
prosperity.
Marcus countered gently. Not perfected, frozen. You've become so good at preserving the past that you've stopped
Welcome,
building the
human.
future. He showed
Your
images
presence
of
honors
human
our
colonies
The honor is
again,
mine, Your Majesty.
but this time
Thank you for
he
receiving
focused on different things.
This festival
A
celebrates
new
new
musical
beginnings.
instrument
incredible.
invented on
Thank
new
you for sharing
anchorage
this.
that
You belong
combined
here.
earth drums with crystalline
They
resonators
encircle us.
found
We
on the
must hold.
planet.
Won't falter. Together.
Architecture
Then
on
stand
Kepler
firm.
186 that blended human
history is
engineering with
extraordinary.
techniques adapted from
It is our
studying
shared
ancient
past.
alien ruins.
Indeed.
Humans have been in space for less than a century, Marcus said. But we're already creating new things. New art,
This is
new
our
music,
world. We have
new
watched.
ways of living.
But why
Not
me?
because we're better than
carry our
you,
future.
but because we're still
Your halls are
struggling,
empty, alien
still
queen.
learning,
They will kneel as
still
you will.
hungry.
I kneel to
The
no
young Velnari scholar
This
drifted
chamber
closer.
is crowded.
What are you saying,
see
Captain
that.
Webb? I'm
You are
saying the
under my
Concordat
protection
has
for
become
now.
comfortable, Marcus replied. You've had peace for 50,000 years. That's wonderful, truly. But peace without challenge leads to stagnation. You're not moving forward anymore. You're just standing
galaxy
still,
watches our
admiring
meeting,
what you
human.
built long
I stand
ago.
ready for our people.
Zextar's
Then
crystalline
proceed.
form flashed
You
with
have noticed
annoyance.
something
And you
different,
think your
human.
chaotic, violent species
Yes.
is better?
We're unlike any
You
here.
who fight wars among yourselves? You who damage your own planet? No, Marcus said quietly. We're not better. We're messier, more dangerous, more foolish. But we're also more alive. We make mistakes because we're still trying things. We fail because we're still taking risks. We suffer because we're still growing. He looked around the chamber at all the ancient
so
powerful
small.
species.
Captain, you
When
have proven
was the
resilient.
last
Our
time
worlds depend
anyone
on
in
your
this
strength.
room
I understand,
failed at
Zextar, will
something?
not falter.
Really failed?
recovery is
When was
vital
the
to us.
last
Are you
time you
certain of
tried
this?
something
I am
new
certain
and
your
it didn't
concern is
work?
unexpected.
We must
Silence filled the chamber.
The character has
Long,
deliberated
uncomfortable
for 3
silence.
cycles.
Then
The
to
elderly
friendship.
Kresh judge
friendship.
clicked thoughtfully. The human makes an uncomfortable point. We have become risk-averse. Perhaps overly so. Marcus seized the moment. I'm not asking you to become like humans. I'm asking you to remember what you used to be. All of you were once young species, reaching for the stars, taking chances, making mistakes, building something new. When did you stop? He showed images of ancient Concordat history, the first Kresh colony ships, the early Velnari exploration vessels, the Draxian expansion fleets, all from thousands of years ago. You were like us once, Marcus said softly. Hungry, curious, willing to risk everything for discovery. Somewhere along the way, you became more interested in protecting what you have than in finding what you could have. Zextar stood abruptly. Enough. You speak of things you do not understand. The Concordat has maintained peace. At what cost? Marcus interrupted. Yes, you have peace, but you've also stopped growing. Stopped evolving. You're so afraid of conflict that you've eliminated all challenge from your existence. And without challenge, there's no growth. A Draxian general in the gallery stood. The human insults us. This cannot. He speaks truth, the elderly Kresh judge interrupted. Uncomfortable truth, but truth nonetheless. When did we last feel truly challenged? When did we last strive for something difficult? Marcus pointed to the display showing the 12 colony worlds. Every single one of these planets presented challenges that the Concordat deemed too difficult, so you marked them as forbidden and moved on. But humans didn't see impossible challenges. We saw opportunities to prove ourselves. He showed footage of children playing on New Anchorage, kids born in heavy gravity, stronger than Earth children, learning to thrive in conditions their parents found difficult. My daughter lives on New Anchorage, Marcus said, his voice thick with emotion. She's 7 years old. She's never been to Earth. When I told her about our home planet, the easy gravity, the breathable air, the comfortable temperatures, you know what she said? The chamber waited. She said it sounded boring. Several aliens made sounds that might have been laughter. Marcus smiled sadly. That's the difference between humans and the Concordat. You've made everything so comfortable, so safe, so easy that your children don't know what it means to struggle. Our children are growing up on death worlds. They're learning that difficulty makes you strong, that challenges help you grow. He faced Zextar directly. You're right that we violated your law. We settled on forbidden worlds. But those worlds were only forbidden because you couldn't handle them. We can, and in doing so, we're becoming something you haven't seen in 50,000 years. A species that's still evolving, still improving, still reaching for more. The crystalline judge seemed to consider this. And you believe this justifies breaking our laws? No, Marcus admitted. But I believe it makes the law worth reconsidering. You wrote that law to protect species from danger. But what if the danger is exactly what we need? What if struggle is how we grow? He took a deep breath. The real question isn't whether humanity deserves these worlds. The question is whether the Concordat has become so afraid of risk that you'd rather see worlds sit empty forever than watch a young species challenge themselves on those worlds. Marcus spread his arms wide. We're not asking for your best planets. We're not demanding luxury. We're taking the worlds you abandoned, the difficult ones, the dangerous ones, the ones that require work and sacrifice and determination, and we're turning them into homes. He looked around at all the assembled aliens. Is that really so wrong? Or is it threatening because it reminds you of something you've lost? The young Velnari scholar spoke quietly. What have we lost, Captain Webb? Marcus met their gaze. The hunger, the drive, the willingness to struggle for something greater. You've achieved everything, accomplished everything. Now you have nothing left to reach for. And that's the saddest thing I've ever seen. Zexthar raised his hand. This session is concluded. The tribunal will deliberate. Captain Webb, you will have our answer tomorrow. As the chamber emptied, Marcus stood alone on the platform. He had given everything he had, said everything he could say. Now all he could do was wait and hope he had changed their minds. Tomorrow would decide humanity's future among the stars. Marcus spent the night unable to sleep. He stood at the window of his small quarters, looking out at the stars. Somewhere out there, 12 human colonies waited. Millions of people who trusted him to protect their future. His daughter Sarah playing in the heavy gravity of New Anchorage. His brother's family building a farm on Kepler 186, all depending on what the tribunal would decide. Morning came slowly. When the summons arrived, Marcus dressed carefully. He walked to the Grand Tribunal chamber one last time. His footsteps echoed in the empty corridors. The chamber was more crowded than ever before. It seemed like every alien on the station had come to witness the final judgment. Marcus saw representatives from species he hadn't even known existed. The galaxy was watching. As Marcus reached the center platform, he noticed something different. The judges looked troubled. Zextar's crystalline form seemed less bright than usual. The Kresh judges clicked quietly among themselves. Even the floating Velnari seemed agitated. Captain Marcus Webb, Zextar began. His voice was formal, but strangely uncertain. The tribunal has deliberated for 3 cycles. This is the longest deliberation in 5,000 years. Marcus said nothing. His heart pounded in his chest. Your testimony has been unexpected, the head judge continued. You did not beg for mercy. You did not offer us wealth or technology. Instead, you held up a mirror and forced us to look at ourselves. The elderly Kresh judge leaned forward. We have examined our records carefully. The human speaks truth. The Concordat has not established a new colony in over 11,000 years. We have not created significant new art or music in even longer. We have become, as you said, maintainers rather than builders. A Velnari judge swirled forward. This realization is not comfortable. We believed our stability was strength. Perhaps it is actually weakness. Zextart raised his crystalline hand. The chamber fell completely silent. Captain Webb, the tribunal has reached a decision. It is unprecedented in the history of the Concordat.
Marcus held his breath.
Your colonies will remain, Zexthar announced. The chamber erupted in shock. Aliens shouted in dozens of languages. Some voices were angry. Others were confused. A few sounded almost pleased. Zextar waited for silence before continuing. Furthermore, all 12 worlds are now officially recognized as human territory. The restricted designation is removed. Marcus felt his knees weaken. They had won. Humanity had won. But the head judge wasn't finished. However, there are conditions, Zextar said. Humanity is granted provisional membership in the Galactic Concordat. You will have voting rights in the council. You will have representation in our government. The elderly Kresh judge stood. Additionally, humanity will be assigned seats on 2 councils that have been inactive for thousands of years: the Exploration Council and the Innovation Directorate. Marcus was stunned. I don't understand. Why would you give us positions on councils that don't function? The Kresh judge's mandibles formed what might have been a smile. Because you have shown us they should function. The Exploration Council was created to find and evaluate new worlds. It became unnecessary when we stopped exploring. The Innovation Directorate was meant to encourage new ideas and inventions. It closed when we decided everything worth creating had already been created. Your species will reactivate these councils, a Velnari judge added, and perhaps remind us why they existed in the first place. Fleet Commander Vosh stood from the gallery. The massive Draxian walked to the center of the chamber. Marcus tensed, expecting trouble. Instead, Vosh extended one of his 4 hands. The Draxian Empire offers to sponsor humanity's military integration into the Concordat. Your tactics are unorthodox, brutal, effective. Our officers could learn from studying how humans fight. Marcus shook the offered hand carefully. You want us to teach you, to challenge us, Vosh corrected. Our military has become soft. Too many years of peace. Too many battles fought only in simulations. Perhaps training against humans who fight like cornered animals will sharpen our warriors again. The young Velnari scholar drifted forward excitedly. The University Collective wishes to establish cultural exchange programs with human colonies. We want to study how your species creates new art and music so rapidly. Perhaps we can remember how to be creative again. More aliens approached. A Kresh scientist wanted to study human adaptation techniques. A trader wanted to establish commerce routes. A historian wanted to record humanity's story. Marcus looked around in amazement. 3 days ago, they had laughed at him, called humans primitive, mocked their weakness. Now they were asking to learn from humanity. Zexstar spoke again, and the crowd quieted. Captain Webb, you asked us when we stopped being explorers and became only curators. That question haunted our deliberations. We realized we could not answer it. The change happened so gradually, we never noticed. The crystalline being's voice grew softer. We laughed at you because we saw your limitations, your short lives, your fragile bodies, your lack of natural gifts. We saw weakness. But you showed us something we had forgotten. What's that? Marcus asked quietly. That limitation creates motivation, Zexstar replied. Your species knows it is mortal, knows it is vulnerable, so you fight harder, dream bigger, create faster. You do not waste time because you know time is limited. The elderly Kresh judge approached Marcus. We have lived so long, we forgot that death gives life meaning. We have become so powerful, we forgot that weakness teaches strength. We have achieved so much, we forgot that struggle brings growth. She placed a gentle claw on Marcus's shoulder. You came here to save your colonies. Instead, you may have saved us from a slower death, the death of purpose, the death of ambition, the death of wonder. Marcus felt tears in his eyes. I just wanted my daughter to have a home. And now she does, the judge said kindly. All human children do, not just homes, but futures. Futures where they can struggle and grow and become something remarkable. Zexstar stood. This session is concluded. Captain Marcus Webb, welcome to the Galactic Concordat. May your species bring the chaos and creativity we have been missing. As the session officially ended, aliens crowded around Marcus. Some wanted to shake his hand. Others wanted to ask questions. A few simply wanted to look at the human who had changed everything. Marcus answered questions patiently, but his mind was elsewhere. He was thinking of Sarah, of his brother, of all the colonists who had trusted him. Later, as Marcus prepared to leave the station, the young Velnari scholar found him one last time. Captain Webb, may I ask you something personal? Of course. During the trial, you stood alone against the entire Concordat. You must have been terrified. How did you find the courage? Marcus thought about this carefully. I was terrified, he admitted, every moment. But courage isn't about not being afraid. It's about being afraid and doing what needs to be done anyway. Is that a human trait? The scholar asked. Marcus smiled. No, I think it's a living being trait. You just have to remember you have it. The Concordat forgot, but maybe now you'll remember again. The scholar swirled thoughtfully. I hope so. Thank you, Captain Webb, for reminding us. Marcus returned to his ship and set course for new anchorage. As he left the station behind, he sent a message to all 12 colonies. 3 words: we can stay. The celebrations that followed could probably be seen from space. When Marcus finally landed on new anchorage, Sarah was waiting. She ran to him in her exosuit, moving easily in the heavy gravity that had once seemed impossible. Dad, did you win? She asked excitedly. Marcus picked her up, feeling the weight but not caring. We all won, sweetheart. Humanity got to keep its homes. I knew you could do it, Sarah said confidently. You're the best negotiator in the galaxy. Marcus laughed. I don't know about that. I think I just reminded some old friends what it feels like to be young again. He looked up at the orange sky of New Anchorage. Somewhere beyond that sky, the Concordat was changing. Slowly, perhaps, but changing nonetheless. The Exploration Council would meet again. The Innovation Directorate would reopen. Ancient species would remember how to dream, and it all started because one human refused to give up. Because that's what humans do. They struggle, they adapt, they survive, and sometimes, just sometimes, they change the entire galaxy. Marcus held his daughter close and smiled. Come on, Sarah, let's go home. She giggled. We are home, Dad. Yeah, Marcus agreed, looking around at the impossible world they had made possible. Yeah, we are. The alien court had laughed at him, called him primitive, weak, foolish. But now they understood humanity's greatest power wasn't strength or intelligence or technology. It was the simple, stubborn refusal to accept that anything was truly impossible, and that power would echo across the galaxy for generations to come.